You be a king and a legend, boy. That's a big one, huh?
It ain't enough to just be a king.
And you got the lion in the background, boy. You's a dangerous guy, man.
You are put through the fire. The only thing that kept me going was I knew it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen.
So I used to print out that list, and I would put my name at the top. I would white out the person on the top, and I'd put my name. And I would print out that list, and I'd keep it in my pocket for the next 4 months. Until one day, the email that I got had my name at the top.
Listen up, everybody. This is the one and only Raquel Aurilia. I can't always mess the last name up.
Aurilia.
Aurilia. See, I was close. I was close. I was so close. But listen,
you were close.
Right here, we got one wonderful, special individual. So much experience in the music industry. You know, if you're interested in music, this person right here can answer a lot of questions. So I definitely wanted to get her on a platform. So how you doing today?
I'm good. Just here in Arizona. The weather's we finally dropped below 100. So now we've got our jackets on.
Absolutely.
99. Yeah, but I'm doing really good. Thanks.
Awesome.
Where are you located at right now? What city?
This is Virginia, Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Is it nice and cool there right now, or what's the weather like?
The weather is perfect out here. We're in the 70s all week.
Oh,
so
man, that's awesome.
Weather's definitely perfect. So
that's awesome.
We want to go ahead and give you your flowers, right now, because you've definitely been working hard in this music industry. You've done so much. I mean, your music, for an example, has been on shows such as MTV The Hills, The City, Taking the Stage. Like, how does that feel to have your music recognized on that level?
It's actually really great. It's funny because, when you write music, you write because you love it, and you're not sure what direction it's gonna take, or who's gonna be down with your music. But yeah, it felt really good to get the recognition and to get it on shows like that, because I watch shows all the time like that, and I always listen. I listen differently, or I watch differently. So I always listen to the music in the background. I thought, it'd be great to have my stuff on there, So yeah, I'm excited.
How did you even get that done? Like, I'm quite sure there's so many people that would be interested in having their music, selected to be on a program or something like that. Is there any tips or pointers you can point to someone or give to them?
Really, to be honest, it's a matter of like marketing and promotions and stuff. So with me, I met a guy who was doing promotions for TV and film. And so I'd give my music to him, and then he would submit to different shows. And then if one hit, then obviously we'd go and get under contract and do the whole paperwork side of it. But it's a matter of, there's different platforms now. You can do that, some different platforms, but you got to be careful, because not all of them are legit. You pay sometimes to get it out there. But if you can find a really good person like I did, the bummer part is he's not working in that anymore. He went on to do working with bands and manage bands, but that was all he was doing, was working TV and film. So if you can find a good TV and film promoter, that's the way to go for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So it has a lot to do with the networking side of things too, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
So how important? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're okay.
I was gonna say, how important is it to have a good team around your brand? Because a lot of artists, I feel like they kind of get disconnected because they think everything is about their talent. But sometimes they forget it's a business. It's called the music business for a reason. So there is a lot of things, there's a lot of moving pieces going on behind the scenes that really help elevate artists. So from your experience and everything that you've witnessed and been through, what kind of advice could you give to lead someone in the right direction in that area?
I think I would just use your knowledge and use your referrals from friends. Like, really do your homework and find a team it doesn't have to be a big team. It doesn't have to be somebody that works with famous people. It has to be a team of legitimate people that really are behind you and that will work for you. And so my team is literally myself and another girl right now. I mean, that's how small I am now. I'm even smaller than I was last month, because I downsized even more, but I'm still always looking for good booking agents or a good PR person or good marketing. But I think it's important now with everything online, you have to have a good marketing person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a girl that's amazing. She's also a singer-songwriter, amazing girl from Nashville, but she helps me at least schedule posts. So we do our posts together like a week out, but like I'll send her stuff to post and then we'll get the verbiage down and then she'll schedule it, which really helps me. Then I can focus on answering the emails and direct messages and all that good stuff. So it allows me a little bit more time than getting on and scheduling posts every day. So I know it's going to be done a week out, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice. So, but yeah, that's really, really helped me. So I would, and then working on our page and keeping the page consistent, and it's taken time to get it to where you want it, like whether you post music Monday or travel Tuesday or a quote or, kind of finding a consistency that works for your brand and making sure it's your business card really. So you've got to have a professional, as professional as you can, Instagram, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and all Facebook and everything else as well. So
It's a
yeah,
package deal,
yeah,
it's very rare you see someone in today's market kind of make it without having that full package.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Everything you do has to be professional, number one, and has to be organized. I think that's
Yeah,
a huge deal. People have to know what it is you're about nowadays because
yeah,
people are losing out on business just by not having their Instagram right or
yeah, it's true.
not having their Twitter right. Like it's so crazy because the tables have turned nowadays.
Hmm.
With social media, it has really redesigned the industry as a whole.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
why I brought that up because I feel like a lot of people really forget about that. And we're not even
yeah,
just talking about music; we're talking about business in general.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
for sure.
like imagine a business that has not tapped into the internet marketplace. Like you're losing out on so many customers right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's putting us in places where we can actually meet people we would have never met. For example, me and you
Hmm.
having this conversation right here.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
it's so many different things that's available to everyone. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the music, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So you're singer, you're songwriter. What
Hmm.
came first? Did you just one day out the blue realize, oh, I can sing, and you just started singing, or was it more focused on? Because some people do this, they focus on
Hmm.
writing songs, like, and then they start singing and be like, oh, I sound
Yeah.
good on this. So
Okay.
what
Yeah.
was
Oh
it
my
for
God.
you?
Well, I started singing when I was little. Like I was a young girl, my mom would play piano, so we would sing it around my house a lot. So I grew up with her playing piano and us singing, and I knew I loved it. I knew that it, just felt right. And I took some voice lessons when I was younger. I did some choir and that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. But I really didn't know how to get started until later in life. I met a producer named Tony Papa from Los Angeles,
Big
and
name producer.
yeah, I was nervous to work with him because he was actually friends of, well, my friend, that was her brother-in-law. And she kept saying, I got to introduce you, but I didn't have any music ready for him. And first impressions are everything. So I said, I'm nervous. And I did delay it. I kept delaying it because I thought, what am I going to do? Like, I've
Hmm.
never been in front of a producer. So he sent me a song called Tears, which is on my very first album. And he said, when you come to LA, I want you to work on the song. When we come in, we'll do the song in studio and just see how you sound. So it was nice that he gave me that opportunity. And I went in and we sang Tears and then started, hanging out in the studio. And he's like, we should do a full album together. And I hadn't started writing yet. So that's
Wow.
kind of how that did. So my very first album is a few covers and then other people's music that we selected to be on the album because I didn't know I could write at that point. I had never tried. So
Right.
yeah, I didn't even realize it was even in the cards for me to write music. So yeah, I just thought I want to do this. It feels right. And then we started doing tours, like just started doing shows and anywhere we could perform. And then it wasn't until like 2 or 3 years later that I met a producer here named Gardner Cole, who's worked with Jodi Whatley, Amy Grant, Madonna. He wrote that song "Open Your Heart." So it's crazy
Hmm.
when I go in his studio. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing to see his like crazy all of his memorabilia on the wall of all of his accolades. But he said, why don't you write with me? Like, why don't we write sometime? And I thought, I don't really know. I don't know how. And he just said,
Right.
go home and start, put some stuff down and like find someone else that, look at the music. And that's really how it started. I went home and I started thinking about what I wanted to write about. And I wrote 2 songs, one called Walk Away and one called You'll Never Know,
Hmm.
and went back to the studio with him. And that's kind of how it all started. And
Now
that was the beginning for songwriting for me.
that's an amazing beginning. That's incredible. I know you had to
Yeah.
feel so many emotions, just being in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
to even have those conversations. I mean, I feel like they played a crucial role into your success so far.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of people, they would beg for that situation to happen. I feel like you were destined to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was that moment where it just hit you like, all right, I'm going places with this. Like this is a little different.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I still, even now when I go in the studio, every time I write a song, like the very first time I told you the song I wrote with Gardner, when we first heard it come to life, I think that's when it like hit me because you see the words on the thing and you hear a melody, and then when you first hear it played back, it's like the most magical feeling because all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's what we've been doing, and then you hear it
Mm,
come to life, I call it, and it's just the best. That's the best feeling ever. So to me, even now, any song I do, like the minute I hear it come and you hear the recording and you hear like all of it, and sometimes I'll go, gosh, did I write that? Like you have to look back and say, I don't even remember. How did I write that?
right.
So yeah, and writing comes in waves for me. Like I always hear different songs and music, but that to me was when I realized like this is really like if I can write now, in addition to singing, then it's going to open more doors for me. And I really do love to write, so it's cool. But I didn't know I could.
Absolutely.
Like most people don't realize that you can. And
Right.
like anyone, I mean, I can't teach everyone how to write, but I'm saying if they sat down and really thought about it and really started to find a structure that worked for them, they could probably write songs as well. So
That's true.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of people have talents where to them they don't feel like it's really a talent because they're so it's so easy for them, and other people it
Hmm.
might be complicated or difficult or more challenging. So
Yeah.
for some people, I find that they're really good at something and it
Hmm.
doesn't pique that interest because they don't feel like it's challenging enough. But
Yeah.
that's a gift, when it's
Yep.
a gift,
Hmm.
it's that it's God given as talent. You can't really
Yeah.
compare it to anything else. So
Yeah.
what you have going on with the songwriting, was there ever a song that you wrote and you just thought, okay, it's not gonna do that well, or it's just okay, but then
Yeah.
when it actually went out, it was a completely polar opposite result.
Yeah. I've had songs where, well, I'm writing and I thought, is this for me? Is this meant for me to sing? Because I am shopping my music in Nashville and stuff. So certain songs I've written are not necessarily for me. And like we're shopping them. I've written some songs out in Nashville with a couple guys, and there's some that I was like, oh God, I would love to sing it, but it doesn't feel like it. Even though I love, love, love it, it's not meant for me. And I'm
Mm,
hoping that it gets picked up. So those are songs like that where I've like thought like, wow, I wonder if it's going to do well. And then I start playing it for other people, and they start responding.
right.
Yeah, and especially like in Nashville, we've done certain songs that I've like recorded with Gardner, for example, that are more pop
Hmm.
style, adult contemporary. And then I went and had a couple of singer songwriters out in Nashville, like just do a demo for me, just very country, because I
Hmm.
don't have a country twang or a sound to my voice. And it's amazing what it can do to a song. I mean, it's just like, is that the same song? And some people prefer it country, some people prefer it pop. But yeah, I try to shop the market. So if I'm going country and it's really, then it doesn't hurt to have a country singer who has more of a country vibe to her voice.
Right.
Once in a while, once I do it, once in a while, I'll shop it for you. But yeah, so I think it's fun just to see like certain songs where I wasn't sure how people would respond, and then they loved it. So always a nice thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a big deal, and it's such a rewarding feeling as well.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
we can be our hardest critic. Like
yeah.
we expect so much of ourselves. We set the bar really high, and we don't accept anything less. Some people
Hmm.
just have that in them. Like this is not to my standards. And then it's like other people are like, you tripping right now. That's really good. you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
um so sometimes it be like that where things really just work out better than we imagine. um
Hmm.
Now moving forward to the support system, how
Hmm.
how how big is that for you?
You mean support of like family, friends, that
Yeah,
kind of
like
thing, or
how
yeah.
important is it to have a support system, with anything you're doing in life?
I think it is, well, sometimes, like I said, music, like my music, my genre, some people might like rock, some people might like
Mm-hmm.
country, more like, you never know. Some people like, singer-songwriter. So what I write isn't always for everyone's ears. Like, maybe, some people might like rap, and some people
Mm-hmm.
might just not be into what I'm doing. But I think if you find the right group of people to support you, family, friends, people that you work with on your team, I think it's really important to have that in your circle, because that helps keep you positive and motivated to want to do more. And I
Mm-hmm.
think, even on Instagram, like meeting people that really enjoy your music, or getting feedback, or interacting with people that do like your stuff, that
Right.
keeps me motivated. So that support system is really big to keep you going, I think, so that you're
Absolutely.
not discouraged. Because, I mean, everybody gets told no. Everybody, you have to have thick skin in this industry, because you don't know who's going to like your stuff. And somebody might
Right.
not like your music at all, but then you go to somebody else and it's a hit. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You just don't know. It's all subjective. So you just have to
Right.
throw it out there. And if you're writing, and truly writing from your heart, and singing because you love it, that shows up, I think, in the vulnerability in your voice and everything. I think it does show up, and people do respond well to that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's really important.
And that just kind of makes me think about knowing your audience, how important that is. That is like so key to a lot of people's success. You're marketing
Mhm.
your music to the wrong audience, and then you're judging your music on it. That's not
Yeah.
the way to go about it. You
No.
know,
Well, then you'll be discouraged. You're like, oh no, nobody
right.
likes my stuff.
Like, no, nobody likes it
Yeah.
over there. You
Yeah.
need to try
Yeah.
and move it over here and see what they might say. You know,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
happens to a lot of local musicians. They feel
Hmm.
like if it doesn't work in my city, then it's over. You know,
Right. Right.
no, this is 2021. Like, if it doesn't
Yeah.
work in your city, try it somewhere else. You don't even have to
Yeah.
go to that other city nowadays. There's
No,
many different ways you can reach people.
for sure.
And that's the same with business. Just like in
Hmm.
real estate. It might be not a good market over here right now, but hey,
Hmm.
if you tap into this market over there, you might have some better opportunity.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And
I
in
think if
delving
you
into other, sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt
no,
you.
you go ahead, go ahead.
Delving into other genres is really cool. And for me, that's another way that you can stay um, active or relevant in different genres. So like, I've done some tracks where I sang the chorus, or the hook, I should say, on like a hip hop track.
Hmm.
I did a song with Cam Carter called Reaching Out for You. And we met through the internet during COVID, and he reached out and said, hey, what do you think? And next thing you know, we're on the phone, and then we're writing this song about the pandemic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Right.
recording from here, and he's recording from there. And we have a song that came out great. And so it's like, I like going into different genres of music, and I love doing the hip hop tracks are really fun for me.
Hmm.
It's a different like sound in my voice. It's a different vibe. It's super fun. And I have another track coming out too with a girl. Her name is Eye Candy, and she's awesome. She's got some songs out now, but this song that's coming out called "Hit the Road," it's going to be. We're just waiting on a few logistics, paperwork wise, to get done as far
Hmm.
as the sample, and that's going to be coming out. And that's completely different than, if anyone knows my style of music,
Right.
they're going to hear this, but they know they'll hear me on the hook, and it was fun. It was really fun to do. So yeah, and I see Cleves. Hi. He and I have a track, so another one coming out. So I've got a
Hmm.
couple tracks coming out with people that I think are really fun to do, and we're just waiting to drop them and see. But it's nice to like do the hook and hear a different style, and like kind of lose yourself in that different genre. But yeah, staying active and collaborating with as many genres. I mean, don't limit yourself, for sure. That's the last thing you
Absolutely.
should do.
And I was going to
Hmm.
ask you because we just kind of briefly talked about COVID. So how have you adjusted to the pandemic?
Well, to be honest, I was actually really busy through the whole pandemic. I just come from Nashville, and I had shot some pictures, and I had a really cool show, and we did some video, and it was really fun. I was excited to go back. And then
Hmm.
COVID hit in March. Well, really, it started to hit around March of that year.
Hmm.
And so then everything stopped. And while we were in COVID, people are on the internet, people are on Clubhouse, people are on just anywhere to like interact with people.
Absolutely.
And I stayed really busy. I met an entirely new family in Radio Clubhouse, which is a room within Clubhouse of all these amazing people. Dante Hawkins, he's amazing, amazing musicians themselves. But started this room where all of us can go in and talk and play our music and get your music heard. I did that. I did a lot of charity work with Burbank Capital with a guy named Val. He's amazing. We did like 5 different charity events, and it taught me how to like record from home. It taught me how to sing on Zoom, which is it's not fun on Zoom, but it doesn't always sound great. But
Right.
you know what I mean? Like people don't expect you to sound amazing on Zoom because you're kind of boxy and it's not meant for singing. It's meant for meetings. But you do what you got to do. And we did, I mean, like I said, they asked me to do the first event and I said, oh, I don't know if I should do it because I'd have to sing with my track. I don't have a guitar player here. And it's like, no, I want you to do it and sing to track if you want. So that's how that started. And then from there, I started helping them get all their musicians for the different events, and Andrea Bocelli Foundation's involved with them. So that's what I did the entire pandemic, is stay collaborating and busy and meeting people online, and just really delved into the whole online market.
Absolutely.
That's all you could do. Yeah.
The pandemic for a lot of people gave them no option but to focus on something. If you ever had an excuse in your life, oh, I can't do it because of X, Y, Z. Well, the pandemic gave you time to really have tunnel vision and focus on your ideas, and then have a plan and take action. You know, a lot of people, they have these dreams, they have these thoughts, but what are you doing to act on those? You know, if you're just thinking about it, they're not doing anything. If you have a seed and you don't put it in the ground, it's not going to grow. There has to be an action there. And I feel like a lot of people had the opportunity to really go to the drawing board during this pandemic and make something happen, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I got to say, you know, the pandemic was strong for me. You know, I actually caught COVID 12 days on a ventilator. Yup. 12 days on a ventilator.
You know what? I saw that. And I was going to ask you about that. And how scary. Like, must have been terrifying.
It was. And, you know, it was a blessing in disguise, though. Not catching COVID. I'm not going to say that was a blessing. Yeah. But the root of what came out of it, you know, this podcast, for an example, started in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And it just took flight from there with all of this focus that I was talking about, that tunnel vision I was talking about, taking that energy and pushing it and putting it somewhere. You talking about a guy who almost died, come out of the hospital. I'm having a rehab. You know, I had to start all the way over, had nerve damage in my right arm, all of that. I had to start over from scratch. And let me tell you something. The craziest thing about it was the fact that I felt like I was at my peak before the pandemic. Like with the stuff I was doing, I was taking pictures, a photographer, all of that, taking pictures of celebrities, whole thing, concerts, all that, just living it up, having the best time ever. You know, it was a huge wake up call for me. And then, you know, I was in the hospital, you start to realize I can't take none of this stuff with me. You start to think about, I got all these goals, I haven't accomplished them yet. I had things I put off. I hope anyone's listening. I had things I put off. But guess what? After that recovery phase, I stopped putting things off. I said, no more procrastination. We're going to take action. Yeah, so that was my little scoop on COVID-19. You know, we're past that now. I'm blessed, and we're moving forward. So that's why I wanted to really take some time to talk about that. Now, as far as advice, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to last long in the music industry?
I think, well, with music, it's timeless. So it's the cliche, it's timeless, but it is, because I mean, look who's out there touring right now. Look who's still in Vegas performing and has their shows. And it doesn't matter what age you are in music. So that's the cool thing about it, is your music can be timeless as well. It depends on the style you write. And even so, like, look at the songs that are coming back. Like the Stevie Nicks Dreams song is coming back. I did a cover of that as well. But like to see it go viral on TikTok by the guy, you know, with on the whole thing, the way it did, it brought it back, which is a song that we all love, but some people that didn't grow up on that are now growing up like, oh my God, that's the best song ever. So music introduced to all different age groups now. It's funny to hear the younger age group listening to stuff that we grew up on. And so it's cool. So like, I feel like you can, in order to you have to continue writing. So write, if you're a writer, write. If you're write as much as you can. You just never know what's going to stick. You never know who you're going to collaborate with. Collaborate all day long. Like, don't be too, I mean, you have to be selective, of course, but like always entertain an opportunity. Like don't put your nose up. Oh, he's only got, X amount of followers. I don't want to work. No, you have to always hear the music, hear the personality, and then see if it's for you or not. But I think that's going to hold your longevity the longer that you can stay with all of your energy focused on what you're doing in your craft. And that way, and really engaging with your fans and building a fan base. And it takes time. It's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. It's not a quick fix. You're not going to get 20,000 fans overnight. I mean, it happens, but like most likely it's going to take you a while to build. And I've been building for a while, so it takes a long time, but you have to put your work in. You have to be able to be willing to interact with people on Instagram. Like if people are responding to your music, not just a little emoji back like, hey, thanks, you've got to engage and say thank you and be grateful. And I think that that's helping me build my fan base because I really do care. And I really do take the time to answer as many emails, direct messages as I can, because it's important to me. Like, and sometimes you may put a little like prayer hand or a heart, or, you know what I mean? Like sometimes that's all you're going to say if they said something like that back, but at least acknowledging the people that are acknowledging you, it's really important because the more you can put your energy into this, the longer you're going to last. And that's what I think I would do. Continue to do it, continue to write, continue to collaborate. But the collaborations to me are what can take you to a totally different genre. Like, I mean, like reaching out for you with Cam, he and I've done I've done 2 other songs in that genre of hip hop, and one of them we're still waiting to release because we had some complications with the sample, so we have to you have to do it legally. So we're still waiting on permission because during COVID they switched managers, and it's been a mess. But I cannot wait for that song to come out, and it's super fun and super cool, and so just keeping yourself open to different genres, different people, different collaborations. I think it'll keep you lasting longer in the business for sure.
Absolutely. Now, I might be jumping the gun a little bit here. I don't know why my mind is on Christmas, but for some reason, I don't know what it is, but there's something about Christmas carols, right, that never go out of style. Yeah. Have you ever thought about working on Christmas carols for us?
I have, but it's funny. I say that every Christmas, and I still haven't done it. I do love, like, it's funny because I feel like if I'm going to do them, you kind of want to, like, the fun songs now too are the ones that sound a little bit different than the originals, but it's really hard to beat the classics. It's really hard to to go too far away from what the original sounded like. But like, I mean, look at Mariah Carey's Christmas album every year, just like beats the charts. Like it's crazy. So, absolutely. And she's been doing it for years. So I have thought about it. I do need to get off my butt and do it. But I wanted to try to like go into it with maybe a little bit of a twist on certain songs, or maybe write my own Christmas songs, like with the. See,
that's what I was gonna go with that, because I'm that's a very sensitive market, like the Christmas carols. People are big on tradition when it comes to Christmas, right? Yeah. So how do you create a new Christmas theme song, like what people listen to for the generations to come? How do you create something new? Like that's like the $1 million question.
That's why I haven't done it yet. Right. Because I don't know that answer yet. But I have thought about it, and I do. Like when I was working, that was last Christmas even, I was trying to like come up with some creative lyrics and ways that I felt about Christmas. And then, but like you said, everybody loves the classics. So maybe a combination to me would be like writing a cool Christmas song that's my own idea about Christmas, and then mixing it in with some other originals that you've redone, and just kind of keep it where people still want to hear their old favorite the way it's done, because I try to keep the originals, covers I do as close to the original with a little bit of flair, my own little flair, but I do try to keep them close. But yeah, that is a tough one because people do like their classics. including me. I do love the classics.
I feel like I think part of the answer will be it has to come with a complete package, which means it has to be more
Yeah.
than just a song. It has to be
Yeah.
a movie. It has to be a
Yeah.
cartoon. It has to have something that can grab
Yeah.
every age group. It has to be
Yeah.
it's so many things that it has to do correctly that
Yeah.
it's almost impossible at this point.
And you have
Like
to,
I
it
feel
has to be
like
catchy. Yeah, catchy. You
yes,
have to have something people want to hear over and over and over. And that's
yep,
the tricky part, because it may be pretty, but it might not be like, you're not going to put it on replay when you have people
absolutely.
over. But yeah, it's a tough one. So believe me, it hasn't left my mind, but it's always something as we start getting close to Christmas, I'm like, should I try to write a song? What should I
Right.
do? But I am going to Nashville in November, and I'm going to talk to my guitar player about a couple of songs that I started to kind of mess with and see what he thinks. And maybe, who knows, maybe if not this Christmas,
I got a
maybe
little
next
idea
Christmas.
on how it's going to happen. And mark my
Okay.
words, people. I think it's going to be a TikTok video that goes viral, and someone's going to create a song, and it's going to just stick, and people are going to play it over and over and
Yeah.
over again. And then in the
Yeah.
future generations, they're going to be like, where did that song come from? Well, one time on TikTok,
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
I
Yeah.
think that's probably how it will happen.
TikTok is how everything, I think, TikTok and Reels is like amazing, but I still need to get on the TikTok wagon because I don't even know how to do it. Like, I
Right.
laugh my butt off at watching other people's stuff, but I really don't know. I'm not creative enough yet, and it's a learning process for me to figure out how to do the fun stuff on TikTok. But yeah, there's so many viral videos, and if it
Hmm.
just takes one song,
That's all it
somebody to do a
takes.
dance to it or something funny to it, and it'll just take off.
It's getting
You're
to the
right.
point nowadays where people are losing the identity of the artist over the song. It's like, how do you
It's true.
not know who sung the song?
Yeah.
Well, because I just knew it from this TikTok video. There was people dancing. I just did a challenge. I didn't know the artist.
Oh
That's
my God. And there's so
crazy.
many crazy challenges now that I can't even like look at some of them. That
Right.
crate challenge. Oh my God, I thought I was
Oh
gonna
my
die. I had to like
goodness.
look away. I can't. I'm like, people
Tell
are
me
getting
about
like
it.
hurt and killed, and then I'm like,
You
oh my God,
know,
I can't even watch. But
I
yeah,
felt some type of way about it. And then you don't want to be that guy. And people be like, just let them have fun. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's not going to be fun when they're broken neck
no.
and they're in the
No.
hospital.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
can't be fun. When you see people like that are, I saw this one guy, and I didn't even, and then I wanted to know, is he okay, right? And then you don't know because the video's gone. And then you're like,
right.
well, what happened? Like me, I want to know, was he okay? I mean, he fell on his neck. Like, is he alive? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's crazy what TikTok has done, and it's good for artists as well. Like I said, I haven't started throwing videos and stuff up there. I mean, I
Hmm.
like the funny stuff. Like personally, I think
Right.
the funnier videos and funnier takes to me are like, I think the way to go. But like for musicians, sometimes it's a matter of somebody doing a dance to your stuff, or
Hmm.
maybe that's how your song will catch. Like somebody did a quick little TikTok dance to it. But so yeah, my mind's always turning.
Absolutely. So, legacy. That's what we're big on in this podcast. You know, we always talk about legacy. All the special guests I get up here, I always ask them, what do they want to be remembered for? You know, we all work hard. We're working every single
Mhm.
day to be the better version of ourselves. But when it's that time, what do you want people to really remember you for? Like, what is all this for?
Yeah. I think I would like people to remember me for my clean clothes shave. No, I'm just teasing. Um, no, I would like them to just know that I think I want my music to have touched people, and I want them to know that um, I write from my heart. So sharing my music and sharing the message, and being able to touch people, whether it's 2 people or 2 million people,
Hmm.
I would love to be remembered for somebody who wrote from their heart, who cared, who's a genuine person, who's authentic, because it really does mean a lot to me. You know, writing isn't just writing. It's not like I do it because I love it. So I would like for people to know like that I'm a good person. I have a big heart. I'm very supportive of everyone. I want
Hmm.
everybody to succeed. So I'm not just about me, but I do want people to know that I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm doing this because I love it, and I'm sharing because I want other people to take what I have taken from music, and maybe they can experience a little of that when they hear it. Because when I listen to
Hmm.
music, I listen to it in a different way. I take the lyrics to heart. Sometimes if I'm having a bad day, like sad songs are what I need to hear, you know, and it helps you heal, or maybe a good song that just keeps you upbeat. I just want my music to touch people. So I think that's what I would hope that they would take away from it. And that's what I would leave. Like she really cared about the people that supported her and her fans, or people that liked her music, and, you know, just to keep doing it. Thank you, Jonna. I see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I could tell, you know, like it's very radiant off you that you got a big heart.
Thank you.
And it translates through your music as well. I feel like you really share yourself with the listener, you know, in your songs. The emotion is there, it connects when you're listening. It can really just take you to a different place if you really focus on the lyrics that you're saying. What was your most vulnerable moment in your song? Like, name a song where you feel like you were the most vulnerable, where you really just kind of expressed yourself.
I think Shattered, well, there's two songs. Shattered was one of the songs that I wrote that it kind of wrote itself. And I felt like it was it was a song that really was extremely vulnerable. And I thought when people hear it, they're going to be like, oh, like you feel like they can see right through you, or like now they know your business. You know what I mean? Like now you've got everybody knowing what you're going through, but you write that way. And I write that way to share with people so that they can heal. Like, so if somebody's going through a breakup, for example, like Shattered is what it's, I mean, the title is Shattered, but it literally was about having your heart broken and being at that place in my life when I wrote it. And so I was nervous at first to release it, because I thought that people were going to know exactly, you know, a little too much, like TMI. Now they know too much about me. But it was important that I released it raw like that, and the way it's supposed to, because those are my feelings. So as vulnerable as I felt like it was important to release it that way and not sugarcoat it. And yeah, people could say, I wonder if that really happened to her, but it really did. So, and I wasn't, I'm not embarrassed or ashamed or like to say it, but it was a little bit of like, ooh, I'm gonna throw it out there and see what happens. So that's tough, and it is tricky. And I wrote another song called How Can I? And it's a song that I had written for my sister. And it was about, you know, some stuff that we went through as kids, and how she was my rock at the time to go through that. And I remember, you know, being in, like, the very first time I did it live, people that were there that knew the stuff, like, it's just the same thing, like having that vulnerable thing, talking about something personal, and people hearing the lyrics, and you felt like you're like exposed. It's like a very vulnerable feeling when you sing like that. Because then you look at people are looking at you like, wow, that happened, or, you know, so you have to be willing
that's
to,
big
like,
though, because you're giving other people that's gone through similar things a voice. You know, you're giving them like this feeling where, wow, I wasn't the only one that gone through that. You know, I think a lot of people can feel alone in life when they go through certain emotions. You feel like, oh man, nobody's gonna understand. Nobody knows how I feel. You know, and then to have someone like you that really just put your heart out there in the music, and they hear it, it's like they relate to it so much that actually it's like therapy. And you know, that's how music can become people's therapy, and in such a way, and help people bounce back and get over certain situations. So
I sang, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I did a song called, oh my God, I totally forgot. That's hilarious. It's so good that I forgot about it. No, it was a very sad song after something that had happened in our family, and Holding On to Love is the song, and it's also the name of my second album. But our family went through something very tragic. We lost a family member who went missing in he was skiing and he went missing, him and his friend. Wow. Long story short, it was very, very sad for our family. They looked for months and months and months. It was horrible. So out of that, the whole thing, we did a charity event and we raised money for them to keep searching. And it was in the crazy time of, like, in Colorado, the snow was like 20 feet deep. It was insane. So they had to stop the efforts. So out of this whole thing, when it was all said and done, sadly, of course, they did not find them, but they did find the bodies later, and it was super sad. And I remember being at the funeral and feeling like, for my cousin, watching, I just couldn't fathom how he could leave there, like leaving the gravesite. Like, to me, it was just like, it hit me so hard. So then I started writing Holding On to Love from that experience, vicariously watching him go through that and watching his heart just being crushed, and all of our family, of course, were crushed, but like knowing him as the parent was on another level, and I couldn't imagine how he could walk away. So
Right.
Holding On to Love is about, I wrote it very general because I didn't want it to just be about, I wanted people to be able to relate to it that might have lost somebody, whether it's an actual loss like death, or if it's actual loss like in a relationship. So it's just about how you feel, like, you know, in time I will believe in love again, and my heart will, you know, learn to breathe again. It's like all these things that you talk about. And I sang it at a funeral. It was really hard. My friend's mom passed away, and I didn't realize that people had taken it that, you know, like thought about it that way, but she asked me if I would sing it. It was hard. I had to look away from everybody. I couldn't look at, I loved her mom, so I couldn't even look at anybody. I had to look, like, pretend I was like by myself and sing, and then I broke down after. But like that kind of song that came out of something tragic, it is a very personal song to me, but
Right.
I think people can relate to it. And anytime you've lost somebody or lost someone in your life, and even a relationship or a breakup is a loss, you know, and you can feel that same feeling from it, the words, you know.
That's I'm so sorry. That's such a big deal to me because, like, I've been at funerals and people have sung at the funeral. You know, at first I never understood, like, why are you singing at somebody's funeral? You know, but then again, there's different reasons behind it. You know, some people want their funerals to be exciting. I want you to remember that last moment. I want you to remember how happy of a person I was. You know, and other people, it's more of a symbolic thing. You know, it's showing respect. You know, so music is therapy. That's how we conclude.
It's true. It's true.
Music is therapy. That's
definitely
that's it in a nutshell. Because at the end of the day, you know, that's you walking in your purpose. You know, like when you can make people feel better about themselves. I feel like that's everybody's purpose. Your purpose is to make people feel good. You know, we're here to build each other up and make each other better. You know, and that's including yourself when you look in the mirror. You know, that's our purpose for being here. So finding your purpose, ask yourself, by doing this, will I make somebody else better? Because when you can answer yes to that question, I feel like that's going to be your purpose. You know, it's going to be lined up with that. You know, so continue doing what you're doing. You know, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you
I had
so
an
much.
Outstanding conversation with you today.
Me too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You took me to a couple places in my thought process where it got real emotional for a second. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, okay, we started talking about COVID, and then we started talking about these funerals. But at the end, you know, but at the end, we brought it all together because it's all about purpose, guys. And so I hope you guys know what your purpose is, because when you wake up in the morning and you know you walking in your purpose, can't nothing stop you at all. You know,
I agree.
Any obstacle that can get in your way, you're gonna tear it down because it's your purpose. You know, it's your destiny. So purpose is key. So I want to say thank you. Is there anything else you want to say for the people?
No, just thank you for having me. It's been really nice talking to you, and I'm so grateful that you went through something so tragic as with COVID, and it's a scary thing, and you experienced it firsthand, and here you are now, better even from it. You know, like, I know it wasn't at the time, probably felt that way, but now, and sharing your gift and reaching out to people the way you have and touching lives. So you're definitely in your purpose, and it's nice to see.
Thank you. It was an honor to talk to you today, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. You too. Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.